Very good morning, everyone. How are you? Wonderful to see you. Um, I'm sorry that I put the wrong date for March 11th, but it was for this Monday. Uh, Thank you again to everyone who participated this weekend in the fundraiser for the temple, as well as the um, uh, Sunday service for Girls Day. Let me adjust this for a second. It's a little bit of an angle. I do apologize. Okay. Well, we will work with technology as it is. All right. We do have two seminars coming up. I hope that you were able to see that. If you, of course, you can go to our Patreon page, the Rowdy Buddhist, where they will be both shown for members and distributed after. Okay, let's see here. So the dates that we have for that would be next weekend will be March 10th. We have from 10 o'clock, we have a seminar for Okigan. And then we have coming up on March 24th, an actual retreat starting from 8 a.m., which we'll be going through meditation, Shodaigyo, etc. So the one in Rochester, there's no cost. You're free to join. It just will be shared on Patreon. So if you haven't done that, Rowdy Buddhist Patreon, there is a charge for attending March 24th, but please go ahead to gashodo.com and you can purchase it there. So let us go ahead and begin. Take a few minutes to stretch. Angles, the camera seems to be on an angle, but we'll work with it. Then let us go ahead and move ahead, forward, back. To the corner. The corner angle. Now we're going to go in a circle again, letting the weight of your body move it. Opposite way. Lift up our shoulders. Drop again. Okay. Let's take a moment to do 3 purifying breaths, breathing through our nose, exhaling through our mouth. Breathe in for the count of 3, hold for 5, exhale for 7. Let us begin. Breathe in, hold, exhale. Round 2, hold, exhale. Last round, round 3, breathe in, hold, and exhale. Now let us prepare for our meditation. Hands in Hokai Join. Ears over shoulders. Let's tuck our chin in, close our eyes, close our mouth gently. Begin breathing through our nose. We will use the mantra Namamyo Horenge Kyo as we exhale, stopping our mind, inhaling, simply observing. With the sound of the bell, please allow your mind to focus in on concentration. Release your attention, bringing your attention back to your body. Let us do one more purifying breath, breathing through our nose, holding for 5 and exhaling for 7. Breathe in, hold, exhale. Good. As we come back to our body, let us for a moment, mindfully, without judgment, take a look at the state of our mind, our breathing, our body. Bringing our attention more back to our body, let us move our fingers, our toes, our body. Here, our hands, rubbing them together. Place them over our eyes, head, neck, shoulders. kidney. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us as always. Today, let us continue with our studies about the 5 hindrances. These are things that we are both working through in our meditation as well as our mind. Last week, we talked about worldly desire, aversion, laziness, and lethargy. Again, for worldly desire, that's a pursuit of pleasure, the remedy being the unification of mind. Aversion is a negative mental state involving judgment, rejection, and denial, which also includes, of course, hatred, anger, resentment, dissatisfaction, criticism, impatience, self-accusation, and boredom. The remedy being pleasure/happiness. There is little room for negativity in a mind filled with bliss. What that means is that this concept of Dhyana, not in the idea of physical bliss, but in the state of equanimity that we find within our meditation. Friday, we talked about lethargy and laziness. Laziness appears when the cost of an activity seems to outweigh the benefits. Lethargy manifests as a lack of energy, procrastination, and low motivation. As we stated, the remedy being direct attention. As we do in meditation, just do it. But also in the idea of replacing through experience. And that's why at the beginning it's very tough to practice. However, your mind and body will, that's why we do the mindfulness practice, that we can take a moment and see the effects, because the mind is always watching. Okay, so when the mind realizes that you can have the solitude, which it's always chasing, or this quiescence, that is what will allow your mind to overcome laziness and lethargy to practice, because it will know that it is something that it, in a way, desires, right? That it wants. The fourth one that we'll talk about today is going to be agitation due to remorse and worry. Remorse for unwise, unwholesome, immoral, or illegal activities. Worry about the consequences of past actions, if we have the idea of karma, or about things that you imagine will happen to you. That is the idea of the mind, the monkey mind, creating scenarios in which everything is doomed. Worry and remorse makes it hard to focus on mental resources or anything. The amount of energy that worry and remorse, this agitation costs. And I use the word cost because it does cost you something. In that, if you've ever noticed how much energy you use for the concept of worry or fear, quite a lot. It takes it a long time to recover from that. So that's why that's really essential to know the costs of these emotions, the cost of these behaviors. And so as meditation, we learn to quiet and become aware of. So the remedy for that is the meditative joy. Joy overcomes worry because it produces confidence and optimism. Joy overcomes remorse because a joyful person regrets past harms and is eager to set things right. So in one mind, we're stuck. In the other mind, we're free. And in this concept of joy, it's very interesting because people create a false joy all the time. I'm okay. I'm very, very happy. How are you doing? I'm very good. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the truth. Again, as we saw with laziness and lethargy, this joy is created through practice and study. Then the concept of mindfulness, being able to observe and allow your mind and body to observe that this is good for you. Now, one of the interesting things that people don't think about, but the reason why we engage in negative and destructive things is because our mind believes that that is a kind of freedom or happiness, to relieve ourselves. Our mind is constantly seeing how to protect and relieve ourselves of stress and those kinds of things. So, of course, we usually pick the most quick and inefficient way. And I say quick because in quick, like everything that is quick doesn't last long. However, most people are so desperate in the suffering that they will grab onto anything, even the quick fix. Hence, many addictions become relevant at this time. But this joy, this natural joy that you experience in your meditation is what propels you. That's what propels me uh, to overcoming all of these challenges and being able to seek out the practice of meditation. So there was a time that meditation was awful for me and quite difficult to have a consistent practice. Okay, same with Buddhism, all of it. But the one point that was actually missing was this absolute idea of joy. And it wasn't a joy that, oh, I'm very happy because I had an experience, but having an experience. That's why with our practice it's very essential to have an experience, but that experience can be at any level. But at the very base level, it's usually with the experience is what most people experience in their mind. They have some amazing spiritual experience. But again, as we know in Buddhism, those can be fantasy as well. So therefore, we don't cling to them. We don't hold on to them. We don't try to recreate them. Because again, they are usually an illusion. But this joy that as we look at our mind and body, which is what we're trying to do, that is our real goal. It's just that perhaps we haven't been given opportunity, and that's why it's important to share our practice with other people, opportunity to actually experience that that's possible. I don't believe most people at a certain age believe joy or contentment is possible. But once we experience in meditation and build upon that, because a negative talk will come, right? Oh, that was just a one-time experience. Look at all the work you have to do. That is why I keep it simple with the beginners, 15 minutes, building from there. And then also when people engage in the Buddhist practice, chanting the sutras, right? Chanting the Odaimoku, the sacred title, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, this builds upon it. And actually, I look forward to it because I know it's a necessity. And I like feeling the way I feel. Simple as that. Huh? It's not a diluted feeling. This is not done by caffeine or drugs or anything. It's done by myself through meditation, through Dhyana. And I look forward to it every single day. So that is a natural way, because just through discipline, sheer discipline, is for some time you can sustain it. But for the long term, no. And everyone has a limit to their discipline. So instead, through the Eightfold Path, six paramitas of Buddhism, we grow this natural joy in our practice that we look forward to it. And in doing so, we practice much more efficiently, I believe, and sincerely. Therefore, our practice will become deeper. So thank you very much for attending today. I appreciate the time that you have with us, and I look forward to our next meditation. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo.